Hi, this is Nia Castle, and I'm going to be reading my documentary script. My stereotype is that my whole life I have had to live with the stereotype of Indigenous people being raunchy and aggressive drunks. Especially coming from Regina, Saskatchewan, there were many terrible things people would say about our community. This is a stereotype that the Native community has had to live with and will continue to. It's a terrible thing for people to think because it's not true. Every single person in the world is completely different, and it's wrong for people to have this outlook on all Indigenous people as raunchy because we aren't. It hurts my heart to have to share these photos, but this is a sad and ugly reality of what is on the internet when you look up drunken Indian. Yes, there will always be someone who may not fit into your life, but that doesn't mean they should be given that type of label. No one does. No one deserves that. In this picture, you see people coming together, smiling, and enjoying each other's company. There are so many traditions and memories that are important to the Indigenous community. Powwows will always be a big, beautiful way to bring everyone together and eat good food, learn from elders, laugh, dance together. Community has always been important to the Indigenous people and always will be. I have never thought of any of this as aggressive or raunchy. This is just how we celebrate and enjoy life, and everyone has their own religion and what's important to them. The stereotype, the drunken Indian, used to be a word to describe you if you were of Aboriginal ancestry. Whether you were Métis, Inuit, non-status, or First Nation, then you had a drinking problem. And it is still being used to this day. It's really sad, honestly, when I think about how my community is being treated differently when going into a store or even just walking down the street. I have seen myself how people have treated my people for many years, and it disgusts me. I have been treated that way myself. My family has been treated that way. My mother has been treated that way. It's wrong to treat people like this based on how they look. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they're going through. Whenever I see someone being disrespectful like this, I always say something, and I always will. We must recognize that many Aboriginal people have turned to drinking as an escape from a reality and a past that they had no control over. It's a common belief that a lot of the problems with addictions began when parents were left with empty, broken homes after their children were forcibly taken away from them and put in residential schools. Yes, there are many ways to not be able to deal with this type of trauma, but at the time, this was the only way. Chelsea Vowell, who often goes by Apitowaskasisin, I'm not completely sure if that's how you say it, but I tried my best. She is a Métis writer, professor, and a lawyer from Alberta whose work focuses mostly on language, gender identity, and cultural resurgence. She has been published in the Huffington Post, the National Post, and the Globe and Mail. And she wrote this beautiful article that I would love for you to read if you're interested in learning more about my stereotype. I hope you enjoy it because I really did. Like, it was amazing. This photo will always give me goosebumps and make my blood boil. You can just see how sad these children looked, and they all had parents who they had been ripped from. So, in a way, I understand how many turned to alcohol. They had nothing else to turn to, and no other way to forget. It will never be okay with what happened. I myself have a great-great-grandmother on my mom's side who was forced to attend residential schools, and hearing the stories my mom tells me about the stories she was told is so sad. It makes me understand why we have addiction and alcohol problems in my family. The memories sadly will live on, but now we can heal. Now there are no more worries about this terrible thing that used to be a part of life. It's over. I'm thankful for the life I was given. I've been able to have the complete opposite experience. I've had a good one. And I'm so blessed to have had that, and I'll forever be grateful for the life I've had. Stereotype will sadly be always a part of this world, and there's just nothing we can do about it except for teach people how not okay it is to be using labels like drunken Indian, and teach them that there is more to our Indigenous culture than they know. We are all people, and we all make mistakes and have regrets. We should always treat others the way they want to be treated.